And so if you want to be a consistent rep or a consistent leader or run a consistent team, because this goes top down to enforce this, screw the idea of confidence off altogether. And I don't say that in a braggartly way. I say that in a way because I have the opportunity to improve. And that really, it just fired me up. And I hope you guys, even if it doesn't necessarily the content hit you, I hope you just osmose from me, just from being around me, how much I just love learning. Because that is the best part of the job. The thing that makes this job so amazing is you have the opportunity every single day to learn something, watch it work, which gives you a ton of dopamine. You're like, oh my God, that's awesome. Then you're even more excited to learn the next thing. You're then even more excited when it works, and you get this upward spiral of, oh my God, this is the best job ever. Who here, show of hands, has experienced that before in this job? Then you're doing it right. And if you haven't experienced that in a month, it's because you've stopped learning, and it's, instead of becoming an opportunity, it's just become a job. And we don't want that. I don't want you to do a job. I want you guys to take this for what it is, which is a lifestyle that you can create for yourself. And I don't want that to sound too pyramid schemey, right? But in reality, I really, there's such an opportunity for you guys to achieve, not only achieve your goals, but to become the person who can achieve your goals. That I hope that you guys take that as seriously as I do. Because that's the secret to being 2 feet in. In Cheat Code, which is obviously our division of Community Collective, we call it being a starfish. We call it starfishing. Do you ever know what a starfish is in a lewd, lascivious context? Yeah. Right? It's somebody that just lays there hoping that someone else is going to achieve their goals for them. And yeah, no, it's a sex joke. It's for the camera. Right? And the idea is that if you're not doing that great routine, if you're not actively leveling up, you're starfishing. Nobody wants a starfish. I don't. Unless Zach. Look at those eyes. He can have whatever he wants. Right? So I, as part of my positive cascade, as I was fired up about education and growth, I got a networking call from one of Richard's guys in our Gold Coast team. And this guy's like my 4th or 5th generation rep, which takes balls to call your way up the chain of command like that. And so I was like, I'm gonna give this guy some value. And I just said outright, I was like, so what do we want to push for? He's pushing for JT. I go, it's really easy. And he's had a slow week this week. I said, well, hitting JT is easy. He goes, is it? I go, yeah, you just have to hit 3 a day, every day. It's not hard. He goes, and in his mind, he's been playing sales as hard for a little while. And it's like, it's not hard. And it says, so what do you need? What can I give you that will help you get 3 a day? And he says, well, the issue that I've been facing is this last week, I fell off a little bit towards the end. And this week I've just been trying to build my confidence. And I nearly threw up in the car. and I didn't really, but I pulled them up right away. I was like, there's your problem. What do you mean? And I really hope this blows some of your minds, because this is something you need to actually found an entire team on. Why a lot of teams struggle to get past that sort of 3rd or 4th generation of reps is because reps think that results are about confidence. They are what I call confidence reliant. You don't want to be confidence reliant. What you want to be is skills reliant. And so the idea is very, very simple. I can be negged to high hell, and I could still pull 3 to 4 sales out of my ass any given day, any time. Why do you think that is? Skills. Because I do all of the skills really well, and it doesn't rely on my mood to do the skills well. Why does that make sales? Because I think we all agree, like, confidence is very important for making sales, but if I'm reliant on confidence, confidence is not consistent. Because I could be having a great day, but then I get a paragraph message from my wife about how I left the toilet seat up and I never do anything right, and blah, 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 whatever. She's like 5 months pregnant. It's been kind of rough, right? She's been pretty good, to be fair, give her credit, right? Well, I might not be that confident after that. Or my dog might be sick. I love my dog. I'd be very unconfident my mood, and this is what I really wanted to blow your mind with. Confidence and attitude are the same thing. People talk about, I'm struggling with attitude. Yeah, well, you're struggling with confidence. It's the same thing. Oh, I'm just trying to build my confidence. It means I don't currently have a good attitude and I'm trying to make it good. That is not a reliable way to make consistent sales. It's certainly not a reliable way to make 3 sales a day. But then I go back to my initial question, why does being skills reliant work? If we agree that you have to appear confident in order to make sales consistently, why does being skills reliant instead of needing confidence or attitude work?
You can get positive feedback loops of skills.
Close? Do you guys want me to tell you? All of the skills that we teach you are designed to make you look confident and fun. What do you think C factors is? Smile, that's confidence. Eye contact, that's confidence. Because if I went, hey, how you doing? I wouldn't look very confident, would I? Enthusiasm, that's confidence. What about controlling the conversation? This is 4 Fs, being able to ask and reward yes questions. That puts you in charge of the conversation. That makes you look more confident. Tonality and body language makes you look more confident than someone that just does this. 3 times closing. A lot of people will not close 3 times if they're not confident, because it's really easy to close 3 times if you're already on 5 sales. Because you got the hot hand, you're like, yeah, come on, you're going to do this. Because you believe they're going to say yes, so you're more inclined to 3 or 4 times close that person. But if you're relying on your confidence to let you do that 3 times close, how consistently are you going to 3 times close? Not enough! Not enough! And so if I rely on my skills and I perfect my skills and I work on my skills and get them 10 out of 10 and don't do those skills consistently, I then appear confident and I don't need confidence. And so if you want to be a consistent rep or a consistent leader or run a consistent team, because this goes top down to enforce this, screw the idea of confidence off altogether. Because if you're doing this, you don't need to be confident, you need to look confident. If you execute on the skills, you will look confident. And then more often than not, if you're executing on the skills and you're grading your pitches to go, man, I'm really executing on these skills, aka, oh, my pitch is fire. Then you're gonna feel confident and that's gonna then boost this. But you don't need this, you need that to be the booster and the skills to be the engine, not the other way around. And most of the people that work inconsistently do it the other way around. They rely on the confidence and then sometimes sprinkle some skills on top of that. It's not a very good way to get consistent, is it?
No.
And so what I wanted to leave with you, this one's very conceptual. It's very, very conceptual. It's not so much like a how-to like I normally give to you, but I really wanted you to get your head around this, is if you want to be consistent, get obsessed with the skills. Because to polish off why I'm so confident with the idea that attitude and confidence is irrelevant is because I can definitively prove that it is irrelevant. Even though it's inarguable that you do need to have a good attitude to make sales, the concept of focusing on your attitude or working on your attitude is utterly irrelevant. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you focus on the right things, attitude becomes irrelevant. There are only 3 ways that you can lose your attitude. Remember, it's your job to keep a good attitude through the day. There are only 3 ways you can lose it. Everything else falls under one of these 3 headings. It's good to see everyone's got a photographic memory and doesn't need to write this down, except for the 2 guys that are. Good job. These are the guys that stayed in. Well, the 2 fit inners. Good job, right? So I'll probably, even if you just need to use your phones or whatever, I would definitely write this down. There are 3 ways that people can lose their attitude. Number 1, they get desperate. They get desperate and customers can smell it on them. So just so that you're aware of how this is actually scientifically backed, this is not conceptual, is there is a part of your brain called the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, and that whole part of your brain is designed to detect ulterior motives in other people. That, oh, I got a weird vibe from that person, that is your subconscious part of your brain called the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. And the moment you come up to a customer with an ounce of hope, of hoping that they sign up, you've lost that sale. Because no matter what you do or what you say, you will not gain that customer's trust or you will lose their trust. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so desperation. The other way you can lose your attitude is output focus. Focusing on the results rather than focusing on the things that make the results, i.e. the skills. And then the last one is thinking about things you can't control and talking about things you can't control versus the things you can, which is your skills and your work ethic. Why does that affect sales? Because it causes anxiety. If you focus on things that you don't have control over, number 1, it gives you an excuse not to get the result, and not a very good one at that. and you're focused on things you can't control, which is the definition of anxiety. Does that make sense? And so these are really, really easy. If you want to be able to keep a great attitude so that we never have to talk about attitude ever again, well, if you're focused on getting enough pitches through the day and understand that the stats and systems actually work, then you already believe in the 3 types of day or in bounce back LOA days. So how could you ever get desperate if your job is not to make sales, it's to get 25 good quality pitches a day? So that eliminates the idea of desperation right away. If you know what your job is, you get paid for the no's, not the yeses. If you get $100 a sale and you're a 1 in 5 conversion rate, you don't get $100 a sale, you get $20 a pitch. And if you just know how much each no is worth, it automatically stops you from worrying about the sales. So that's solution number 1. If you focus on the stats and getting enough pitches, it automatically reinforces your belief in the LOAs and you don't get desperate. Number 2, if you grade every pitch or go out each day with a skill to focus on, then you're thinking about the skills, not about the sales. It's like being at, I use this analogy all the time, it's like being at Topgolf. If you try and hit the ball really hard or really far, what happens? You shank it and look like an idiot. Or if you focus, and you don't even have to hit it you don't even have to hit it hard. If you just focus on keep my head down, turn my hips through, keep my arms straight, and just focus on the ball, you don't have to hit it hard and you knock it out of the park. Sales is the same. Focus on the inputs, not the outputs. You do that by grading every single pitch and don't ever stop grading the pitches. Because if the pitch was good and the customer didn't sign up, you're still like, okay, awesome, my LOAs are gonna work because this pitch is awesome. Or if you spot something you didn't do correctly, that then gives you dopamine for working on that skill. So it keeps your energy up all day. So if I'm focused on my stats and getting 7 to 8 pitches per segment, and I'm focused on my skills and making sure I'm using all the correct ones, especially the basics, well, the only last piece of the puzzle is can versus can't control. And guess what? That's an identity thing. And if you're somebody who makes excuses and talks about negative things, there are plenty of other companies that do what we do that are hiring, but there is not a place for you in my teams. There's no place for you in cheat code if you're somebody who talks about can't controls, because that is cancer. That is a noxious gas that infects everyone around you. Because I talk about this all the time, we've got mirror neurons. There's parts of our brain designed to feel what other people are feeling. And if you're doing pitch for pitch with someone or on a map with someone, and they come off a sign up, or they come off a tear up, and they come off the door and they go, guess what? You've just made me perform worse for the rest of the day, you selfish piece of crap. I got no time for that. I got no time for negative people in my teams. We are a high-performing team, and high-performing teams do not have low-performing mentalities. So if we eliminate the can't controls out of the team, or if you're someone that struggles with it, you need to fix it now, not like yesterday, ideally. Take that seriously, because it only takes you 2 weeks to rewire your brain and do it seriously. But if you half-ass it, see you later. But then, if all we have to focus on is our work rate and our skills, that takes us back to what I started with. Be a skills-reliant seller, not a confidence-reliant seller. Because this guy kicks that guy's ass 10 times out of 10, 7 days a week. Who do you want to be? Good? Good. Let's go. Come on. All right, get him in. We say, get on, boy. Don't ask why. Let's go. Get on, boy. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Get on, boy.